Hiya, happy Wednesday everybody. I hope you are keeping warm, and I just wanted to say g'day to start off with, of course. So today I participated in a webinar in our industry. It was hosted by a company that I deal with, and one of the professionals that was speaking on, his name was Ryan Shelley from Pepper IT. And he kicked off the webinar giving some people in our industry some really good tips for social media. And then he got me in to speak about really specific and how to grow your business. But what I really wanted to share is one of the key takeaways that I brought from this webinar, and one of the reasons that I love to teach. And this might sound funny, but one of the reasons I love to teach is that I always learn something, whether it be my research, my preparation, just being in the moment, listening to other speakers, but I always seem to learn something. And today I learned something that I want to share with you. Ryan was talking about it in his presentation, and it is something that is sometimes what we would think common sense, but it actually gets missed so often. So I'm going to share with you what I learned today from Ryan, which you probably think you already know, but it is the biggest mistake in social media. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been to a meeting or a networking event, or it could be a barbecue at a friend's house, and you're that one person that's stuck in the corner listening to someone else, blah, 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 in your face, who is just talking about themselves the entire time? You can't get a word in edgeways. You can't relate to them. They're ignoring your signals of trying to get someone else's attention to be able to move away, or dodging questions, and they're just so self-involved, yeah? We've all had those situations. Well, guess what? Social media is exactly the same. If you cannot have a conversation where you're not listening, that is the biggest mistake of social media. Just like being stuck in the corner with someone who is not listening and what they're saying is not coming across to you because they aren't listening to you, it's exactly the same in social media. So the biggest mistake people do make is that they don't listen. Okay, so what does that mean? What do I need to listen to? You need to be listening to what's going on out there. You need to be that person that's commenting on other people's posts. You're the person that shares out a competitor's success. You're the person that knows what's going on in the world. But you are listening, first of all, taking into account what people have to say before you start your social media presence. And when you think about it, if social media is mimicking what we're doing in real life, but it's just creating these exponential fast relationships of trust and competency, then this is exactly the same. You need to be listening, first of all, before you post. All right, so that is the number one mistake. People are not listening. Okay, so we've established you have to listen. So who do you have to listen to? Your customers, your competitors. You need to be listening to them. People that you want to work with, other industry professionals, banks, whatever industry, listen to people you want to work with. Listen to people who have something else to say of a different opinion of yours. Start that listening process really easy. Now, we've worked out you have to listen, who you have to listen to, but how do you listen? Easy. You listen on your socials. You listen on their websites, Facebook. Join their mailing list. Set up Google alerts. Every time a certain topic gets published that's really specific to your industry, you get a notification, and that's where you need to listen. And what you will find by actually listening is that you are collecting these pockets of information that you can use for your social media. Does that make sense? So you listen, you're absorbing it, you're gathering information without even having to do anything. You're getting these little pockets and nuggets of information that is ready for then you, after you've listened, to then spread out on your social media. And for a lot of people, the first thing they often say with social media is that they just don't know what content to have. That is creating content for you. Google alerts onto keywords relevant to, and this isn't just for business owners, this may just be for people that are trying to create impact or influence, or they might have a charity that they're trying to work with. You're exactly the same. Listen, take it all in. Who do you listen to? You listen to people in your industry, your competitors, your community. Listen to things in your community. If your customer is a local kind of area, listen to people in those suburbs. Join Facebook groups that are for those suburbs. Learn about those areas by listening. That then gives you those channels for what you can post as your content. So I found that absolutely fascinating today, because it is something so simple that we often just don't make that connection with. So think about it that way, okay? Michael, need help tagging you in a post. I will help you with that, Michael. So that was a little snippet today of social media kind of expert masterclass that a couple of us gave out to a few hundred people in our industry today via webinar. And that was Ryan Shelley's real message, and I wanted to share it with my interpretation of it. And I wanted to share one of the key points that I made today that can be really scary with social media. And that is, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Once you allow yourself to be vulnerable, people will really start to connect with you. They'll start to know who you are. They will decide if you're someone that they want to work with. And it's that vulnerability that really will help create your following, create customers to come to you, whether it's a business or you're trying to be a charity or you're just trying to make an impact and do something in the world. It's by having that influence that will really do that. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable. It can be really scary. When I first started, being really vulnerable in my social media and creating personal brands, I was scared too. There's a lot of personal things that I would put my heart and soul into, and you feel like you're going to be put out to the public to judge you. But guess what? Here is the golden silver lining of being vulnerable. It weeds out your people from the people that are not your people. So for me, if 1 in 100 people is connected to me on social media and they decide that I don't really like what she does, I really don't like her personality or her values or whatever, that they don't like me, they have made up that decision before they've contacted me. So they have not wasted my time, because we wouldn't have connected anyway. It wouldn't have been a working relationship. And so it hasn't wasted your time. It hasn't wasted their time. It actually is a silver lining. But what it does, it makes people so loyal to you. It makes people feel like they really know you, that they can connect to you. And when you can portray vulnerability on social media, it is actually a strength to be able to do that. It then ingrains trust, okay? So just try and give it a go. So just to quickly recap, today's, for those people that have just jumped on, hi Emma, Justine, Brooke, I hope you're all well. I shared today something that I learned while presenting in a webinar today. One of the presenters before me, Ryan Shelley from Pepper AT, just said this amazing point, which I loved, and I just gave my spin on it to everyone. And that is, the number one mistake that people make with social media is that they do not listen. And I was giving you an example of, if you're in a conversation with someone face to face, you're in a conversation with someone face to face and they are just talking at you. So it might be a business event, a networking event, and they are just talking at you and they are spruiking themselves up. You're not getting a word in. They're too busy trying to big note themselves. They're talking over the top of you. They're ignoring, your gestures to, I gotta go to the toilet, or trying to get your friend's attention to interrupt, and they're ignoring all of that. Because they are not listening to you, you are not engaging with them in a conversation. It's not meaningful. There is no connection. You are completely writing that person off. Social media is exactly the same. You need to listen before you post anything. That is the step one. You need to listen. Who do you listen to? Your competitors, people in your industry, businesses that you want to work with, businesses that you do work with, people that you think you might want to connect with. Hi Louise, I'm just touching base on some of our webinar that we did today. So they're the people that you want to listen to. And then remember, that's when then you start to create that golden parts of content that you will have. And please, oh please, really be bold. Just try it. Just do 1 or 2 really vulnerable personal posts and see what happens. I bet you'll be so blown away by the results that it gives you more confidence to be able to do more vulnerability every single time. Yeah. that is Wednesday. I hope you really enjoyed that. I always like to finish off with a confession. Those of you that watch along know I always finish with confessions of a conveyancer. Today's confession is all business upstairs. Oh, Ugg boots downstairs, tracksuit pants and Ugg boots downstairs. It is cold in winter here in Albury. We are having a cold snap. So I'm like a news reporter, all upstairs, business, professional, but I got my daggies on downstairs. Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining. It's amazing to see you again. That's Wednesday night done for this week. Remember to listen. I loved learning that today from Ryan. Listen before. Social media is just like real life. It mimics what we do. It just makes everything so compact and faster. So you need to listen before you jump. Nobody wants to be that person that is just talking about themselves and not engaging in a real conversation. Okay? I want to listen to you. Tell me your thoughts. Contact me. Let's talk.